After winning 100 million in the lottery, I quit my job and went back home. As soon as I reached the door, I heard my brother's wife, Zoe Cook, saying, "Mom, I want to buy a mansion. Tell Kathy Jones to pay the down payment." My mom replied, "She just finished paying off the mortgage on this house last week. She probably doesn't have any money." Zoe scoffed, "Did you forget? Jim likes her. Make Kathy marry him and then ask for $1 million to cover the down payment." My dad added, "That's a good idea. Then the mansion will be my grandson's wedding house." Zoe commented, "By the way, Mom, Dad, when Kathy gets back, tell her to move out. My brother will be moving into her room." It was the first time I overheard this kind of conversation. I never expected them to be so ungrateful. I lifted my head, holding back tears. I felt so bitter. The draft in the hallway made me shiver. I stood outside the door for a long time before taking a deep breath and opening it. "I've told you many times to be more careful when coming in. My son is sleeping. Don't forget again, okay?" Zoe looked at me with disdain and then turned to my parents, winking at them. My dad coldly asked, "Why did you come home so early today? Didn't you say you'd be working overtime?" "I was fired," I said flatly, and everyone was stunned. My brother, David Jones, was the first to react. "What? Why did they fire you? Was it because you upset Jim Wood by rejecting him?" Jim Wood was my direct supervisor. He was petty, strict, and lecherous during the years I worked for him. The pressure was so intense that I often suffered from insomnia and hair loss. Whenever I couldn't help but complain to my family, they always scolded me, saying I was overreacting. Eventually, I stopped telling them anything. I didn't want to talk to them anymore, so I turned and headed to my room. But my mom stopped me as soon as she heard I was unemployed. Her expression changed instantly, and she said directly, "Pack your things and move out tomorrow. Zoe's brother will be living here. Why should I give up my room for him? I bought this house. I'm not leaving." My father got furious.
"What do you mean by that?"
"You have to move out." Zoe seized the moment and added, "Exactly. Just because you paid for the house, you think you own it? You're going to get married sooner or later and leave the house. I'm warning you. Don't even think about it." David grabbed my suitcase from the room and shoved it toward me. "It's already decided. We're just informing you. Stop talking nonsense and get out." My parents had always looked down on me since I was born, while David used to be kind to me. But ever since he got married, he completely changed and did everything Zoe told him to do. Zoe had always been cold toward me and took her frustrations out on me when in a bad mood. My parents and David always turned a blind eye, and no one ever stood up for me. I thought we were family, and that if I was good enough to them, they would eventually change. I worked hard to earn money and buy this big house, but in the end, I became the most dispensable person. "This house is mine. I'm not moving out." After saying that, I dragged my suitcase back into my room. I unpacked the clothes and hung them back in the closet one by one. Zoe sneered, "Mom, Dad, see? Your daughter has grown so bold that she doesn't care about anyone." My father, enraged, tried to slap me, but I grabbed his arm and he couldn't move.
"Dad, don't get mad.
"Just tell me what I said wrong." Zoe yelled, "You're completely wrong. This is the Jones house. You should obey your parents." My mom tried to calm my dad and softly complained, "Kathy, I don't want to blame you, but we're only asking you to move out for a few days. Why are you making such a big fuss?" "A few days? Mom, don't think I don't know. Zoe just got her brother a new job, so he plans to stay for a long time. This is my house. Why should I give it up to strangers?" "Strangers? How can Zoe's brother be a stranger? Since I married David, her brother is your family too. You should treat him like your own brother." Zoe gestured dramatically while speaking. "Treat him like my brother? Ridiculous." It was one thing for my parents, David, and Zoe to take advantage of my money, but why should I spend money on Zoe's lazy brother? They truly thought I was a fool. "Zoe, you're really shameless. My parents won't give me the key to that small house I bought before. Isn't it true that your parents are living there? So what?" Zoe replied arrogantly. My parents and brother just watched without any intention of stopping her. I looked at each of them. "So, you're all determined to kick me out, huh?" Zoe, gritting her teeth, said, "Yes. You're not giving those 2 houses back to me, are you?" My father glared at me angrily. "Nonsense. Don't even think about those houses. They don't belong to you, and it's not your decision. We'll see." I felt hopeless and suddenly didn't want to stay another minute. I didn't want to waste any more time arguing with them. This was a small issue that could be solved with a lawyer. I took nothing with me and left the house. That suitcase had been thrown out by David, and those old clothes had been handed down by Zoe because she didn't want them. I didn't want them either. I checked into the best 5-star hotel in town and consulted the best lawyer. I had paid the down payment and the mortgage on the houses. The lawyer said it wouldn't be hard to get them back. After hanging up the phone, I felt depressed and angry. I wanted to cry, but couldn't. My parents always favored David because he was a man. If it weren't for my grandparents paying for my education, I wouldn't have even finished high school. After getting into university, I worked up to 4 jobs at once, sometimes so exhausted I'd fall asleep standing. After graduating, I got a full-time day job and a part-time job at a fast food restaurant at night. I worked hard for years, saved every penny, and finally got my parents and David out of my grandparents' old house. I thought buying 2 houses would make life easier. But unexpectedly, I was kicked out overnight just because I lost my job. They completely turned their backs on me. How ridiculous. Family love could disappear in an instant, but at least I was lucky in another way. I looked at my bank account balance and couldn't help but smile. I still had money. $100 million. An amount I couldn't spend in 10 lifetimes.